Don't be a prick. Hit the like button, man.
Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. As the big man Ian Wright just said there, another day, another live stream of hanging around. I'm hanging around like a bad smell. People deluded, I'm back again. One love if you're on Twitch. One love if you're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button. We dealt with West Ham. We dealt with Sporting Lisbon. We dealt with Man Divided. Sorry, Manchester United. On Sunday, we're playing Fulham. So, yeah, we might as well go over Mikel Arteta's press conference, the other isms and schisms that are connected with the club. If you've got any other talking points and all of those things, don't be afraid. Don't be a stranger. As well as smashing the like button, let me know your thoughts. And we're going to get into everything in just a second, man. Why not get Xavi, Simmons and Isak, or maybe a player who can play in a lot of the spaces? Then at Isak, our attack becomes better. We can only hope and pray. You're right, P. We can only hope and pray. I would love Xavi Simmons. We've been linked with him, but 99% of these rumors are BS, and we're linked with half of these guys. But as we know, whether it's Xavi Simmons, whether it's Isak, as you mentioned, I would love. It comes down to the bread, the wonga, the wallah, the dollar, the euro, the yen, the pound. Put the money down, you can have whatever you want. I'm having Xavi Simmons, but it's a madness. Big up American Gunner, aka Gooner, CEO of the platform. Do you know how lit this guy is for the platform? He's a real G, my uncle. But he has said we need an out-and-out striker. Big up GG and the nation. As he said, big up you lot and big up myself. We definitely need an out-and-out striker. But I must admit, as much as I think we need a striker, another inside forward, and a number 8, I would be on side in another defensive option. Yeah, for me, it's a bit weird because Mikel Arteta's system, obviously, the next striker that comes into this club, if you're not on scoring goals, I don't really want you. And all I care about is goals, innit? But it's all the other facets because being devil's advocate, if scoring goals was everything, then we don't probably see Kai Havertz play up front. We don't see Eddie Nketiah get his run. We don't see Trossard. And we definitely don't see Gabriel Jesus. But I'm with you in that. I don't know why, but I've never rated Xavi Simmons would prefer a striker. I hear you, Graham. Big up yourself because you're part of the furniture. I'd prefer a striker. As for not rating Xavi Simmons, I do think people overdo it, but he can play on the wings, on the right-hand side. He can play in the 10. He can play as an 8. He's Dutch. The Dutch pathway to Arsenal is lit. I'm having him, man. I'll be real with you. Isak, I say, as an experience in the league, tough one, that one. Still, good evening, DG, man, as always. Mark, one love. I would love us to go for Alex Bueno from Villarreal. I've watched him for the Spanish national team. Very technical, and I don't think it would cost too much. Like you said there, on the technical aspect, bring him in it like he's another player, but I'm not going to lie, yeah. And I know he can play as a 10, as a kind of Spanish inside attacking midfielder. I want demons at this football club, man, because where you look at Bukayo Saka, man, I have to respect his thing. When we play defenses or teams in general, they respect him. They're scared of Saka. I want another one that's on what Saka's on. Like, you know, he's going to get goals and assists. I know we're not going to sign Mane, but if we could get another Mane for the left-hand side, I'm on that because I do always wonder. I've never been a Premier League footballer. I've never been a coach. But psychologically, how much of a mind games is that when you're playing these guys? I guess what I'm trying to say is I want another one that's just going to get numbers, bro. I know numbers ain't everything, but I want numbers. We need to bench Martinelli and get a left winger in January. I hear that. Martinelli, until you show anything else, I'm with you in that. You're a rotationary option, a plan B, a squad kind of done. I'm with you with that. If I share my screen with you, look, Pardon me. Allegedly, Arsenal's assistant manager Albert Stevenberg agrees new deal until 2027. The 54-year-old deal is not yet signed, but the process is in the final stages. The agreement follows manager Mikel Arteta in also extending his stay at the Emirates Stadium until 2027 in September. Apparently, The Athletic previously reported that Arsenal are in the final stages of extending the contracts of Mikel Arteta's backroom staff, including set-piece coach Nico Hilver, Carlos Cuesa, Miguel Molina, and Inaki Kanya. So that tells you they're here for the long term. They are expected to join the manager in receiving extensions until 2027, along with a significant pay increase. I think we're all here for that. I guess it's like any other job, really and truly, and that kind of echoes the same thing. Martin Odegaard is to captain us for the 100th time against Fulham. Hopefully he marks that with victory. Mikel Arteta's press conference on injuries, he said, we have a few. Obviously, it's match day 2, or do they mean 12? So we have to monitor a few players. We have a training session tomorrow, so we see how everybody is for Sunday. On how he would rate Gabriel's chances of playing, we know Mikel Arteta is on a mind games thing. He said, until we see tomorrow's training session, it's very difficult to say something. Calafiori is the same. Now, there's been some rumors that while Gabriel Magalhaes and Ricardo Calafiori haven't joined the proper training, they've been training indoors. On whether Calafiori's injury is long-term, let's see how they evolve in the next few days. So do we take that as he's not going to be involved, or do we take that as he's involved? On becoming the Premier League corner kings, we want to be the kings of everything. At set pieces, the best in the world. At high press, the best in the world. Attacking open spaces, the best in the world. We want the best atmosphere in the stadium and to be the best at everything. I ain't disagreeing with Mikel Arteta. Before, it was about we didn't score enough. We were so defensive in our mentality. We were not physical enough and could not challenge the top teams, and going 22, 17, 20 years without winning away from home in big games. We want to be the best at everything. We want to have the best academy, the best individual development for players, recruit the best players, and have the best coaches. That's the aim. Now we have to go and do something. Anyone disagree? You'd be an idiot to disagree, wouldn't you? On how hard Declan Rice and Saka work on corners, they work like it's any kind of finishing. We constantly want to be a threat from everything that we do. We have to take advantage to make it count and be a threat. On how he identified Declan as a corner taker, we adapt the player's qualities to what the team needs to exploit the qualities we have in the squad the best possible way. It's about the players, every tactic, every decision and position on the pitch is towards that. On being compared to Stoke, I understand very well what Roberto Martinez said. It was the best possible way, so we take it as a compliment because they're so good at it. On Martin Wondergaard, the class region, he's a massive player. He showed again in big matches what he can deliver, the spirit that he brings to the team, and the quality he has to play in the way we have to play. So I'm really happy with that. Fulham is not an easy task. It's going to be a big challenge, which we experienced last year when we lost 5 points against them. I've been very complimentary about them, the coach, what they do. So it's always a tough watch. On the ex-Arsenal players, I'm really happy for them. Reece is still one of our own, but the rest as well, it'd be great to see them. On whether he keeps contact with Emil Smith-Rowe. Once they leave, you have to leave them to do their own thing. Obviously, once in a while we speak to them. I'm very grateful for what they did for us, and I wish them the best. I won't lie, I think he scores. Arteta talks a good game. He needs to deliver now. Can't disagree. We should go for Alex Bueno. He's better than Martinelli. He can play left wing 10. He's a baller. Can't disagree with that, really. I love Lenny. On whether we've done things different this season to avoid a poor run. It's a bit different with the period that we're in and what we are coming from, but that's the demands of this league. Every game is so difficult. At the time as well, we lost a few games, so it's even harder. So things to do much better than last year, that's for sure. On Timber, I'm really impressed. He's coming back from a long-term injury after his ACL. We know the talent, the leadership, the skill he has. It's been in great form. He gives us very different to any other any fullbacks we have in the team, and his impact has been tremendous, I think. On set pieces, it's great. We are very good at a lot of things. We take it as a compliment and fuel to be better because we are not perfect, even in that department or defending set pieces. We can see the 3 chances versus Man United, the 3 of them coming from that kind of situation. There's a lot to improve, and the margins are always there for us to explore and try to get better. Smash the like button and let me know your thoughts on how people now view set pieces. I'll be honest, pardon my French, if you don't support Arsenal, if you're not any coaching staff or players, if you don't support our club, fuck what you have to say, because I'm for that. If we can play great football, and also when we, as a byproduct of creating chances, if we go and get a corner, to know that the corners are the next penalties, I'm for that. Smith Rowe ain't scoring. It won't be, is more likely, brother. It won't be. Smith Rowe, Fulham based on their form, Harry Wilson, Robertson on the left-hand side. Bro, Fulham is a tougher test than Man United. And I mean that with the greatest disrespect for Man United for banter, but with the greatest respect. Like, big up Man United, but Fulham's a serious test. I would say for most neutrals that are watching the Premier League, Fulham is not an idiot thing. As Arteta just said, they took 5 points off us last season. We're in a bit of good form now. We need to make sure it continues. We need to win these games. By God's grace, Everton do a job against Liverpool, which I don't think is going to happen. All we can do is win our games and entertain talking points. So yeah, like the man said, I think it's something that changed 10, 11 years ago. Not only what is related to set pieces, but also other style of play. Remember that a lot of big teams have won a lot of games, a lot of important games, and a lot of last-minute games in these kinds of scenarios. If you look at the Champions League, all of the data is there. It hasn't changed that much. The importance of it, because the margins are smaller and smaller, because the competition is harder. Probably people put more attention into that. You have to dominate everything. Let's be real. It's not the fact that Arsenal are scoring from set pieces. It's the fact that Arsenal are scoring from set pieces. I sound like a hypocrite, but if you know, you know. Nobody cares. It's the fact that we're doing it. And let's not act dumb. Like, let's not act oblivious. Do we really think Mikel Arteta and them and they are going out there and saying, let's get some set pieces to win the game? They're doing whatever they want to do from a tactical point. But we know fine margins, small margins, whatever you want to say. We get corners. We do our homework. We know what we're doing. That's another facet to our game. And last time I checked, I'm not being funny, we had 13 corners. So if we get 13 corners, we have to score 2. And if you have a problem with Arsenal from set pieces, stop giving us set pieces. And if you're going to give us corners, defend properly. Let's not act oblivious to this. But for me, I don't care what rivals have to say. I don't care what the media has to say. We know what it is, innit, people? So dead all of that. On keeping his backroom staff with new deals, obviously he's going to say that's great. Isak is sick, but can he stay fit is the problem, which is obviously an issue. And when he started valuing a set piece coach, probably when I was a player, because I was at Everton and I understood how important they were. I think people underestimate, while Mikel Arteta has worked with Pep, learned from Wenger, La Masia, all them other aspects, I think people, I'm not even saying this to be disingenuous, because people can laugh at David Moyes. David Moyes has been in the game for a number of years. Do you know how much Mikel Arteta has probably learned from David Moyes? And realistically, obviously, let's be serious. Mikel Arteta and Everton, you're on the back foot of a lot of games, so he understands the little small margins that you can gain an advantage on the bigger games. Why not? If we can play saucy football, which we're not doing at this moment in time, but we can get better, and we've got set pieces and we can merge them together, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Tell him again, Graham. Nobody complained about Bournemouth last night, missed a number of chances, but scored from a well-worked set play. Graham, tell them again. It's the fact that Arsenal did it. And it's funny because when I'm sitting here, before we lost to Bournemouth, and I said, yo, man, I have to respect Bournemouth, you know. Areola's a serious coach. Bournemouth away, no one, of course, Bournemouth away is not Anfield. It's not Newcastle. But you can't go there on an idiot thing. You can't be stupid. They play great football. They're a good team. We lost. How could you lose at Bournemouth away? You see what happened to City. You see what happened to Thingy. It is what it is. I call the set pieces, but I love United to be set piece dominant. Ace, you're one of the real ones. And it is what it is. Like, for me, of course, I would have loved to have seen Arsenal cut Man United open with goals from general play. But let's not act like, fair enough, if Arsenal had 2 corners, we scored from 2 corners, I'd entertain a lot of the chat that, yo, we got away with it. We had 13 corners, bro. 13 corners. XG considerably better than Man United's. And you know me, I'm not one of them XG dickheads. But the XG, 30 plus entries into your box, bro, we deserve that. We deserve that. First half, I think both teams, I think more Man United than us, but it was looking like a stalemate. It was looking like a draw. Second half, we made things happen. And I'm not being funny, but unless Onana 13 times had the ball, their defenders had the ball, and they gave away 13 corners, bro, we had to earn that, you know. Fair enough. Rashford moving mad. I actually think watching the game again, Man United's attackers were probably to blame for us getting those set pieces. But we didn't just wake up and try to get that. Does Arteta have to deliver this season? Undoubtedly, yes. Or it gets question marked. I love Arteta. I love the aura. I love what you're doing. And I love the rebuild. But if we take all of that, on one hand, the rebuild, everything, I can't, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't praise Mikel Arteta enough for what he's done, yeah? But if you take that, put that in a box, one love for that, Mikel. The job is now, can you deliver a Prem? Can you deliver a Champs? Can we go from the nearly men to getting it over the line? Can you bring some trophies? That's my question mark, because you got a new deal. So that tells me the club believe in you. And if I rate you and I rate the players, need to get it done, man. At the end of the day, Man United defended very well from open play. You need to find alternative ways of scoring and subsequently winning. Graham, tell them again, but people have an issue. If we were crap from set pieces, they would be onto us. So that's why I don't care. And again, bring up Amarin, big him up. They're in phase. You know me. I hate to get into this. Arsenal are in phase 20 million. United are in phase 1. I think for the first time ever watching Man United, whether I rate their midfielders or not, midfield, defense, strikers, it looked for the first time that not only did Amarin give you a job to do on the pitch, but you're actually able to do it. I think defensively. Obviously, we scored from corners and we had to fashion that chance. They did well. Midfield, it looked like they had things. I actually think Man United's attackers let them down because the hardest thing to do in football is score goals. Don't think they created much. And I think when you deep it, Man United's attackers gave the ball away, whether it's Rashford or, and I always say my pet peeve from set pieces is strikers having to do defensive work. They go to sleep. You look at Højlund's defending, and he's not alone, but you look at Højlund's defending for at least one of the corners we scored. That's their issue. So big up Amarin for what it's worth. I think he is a good coach. I think this season is damage limitation. You know, it is where it is. He needs to flush out the players that are not with what he's doing, continue utilizing the players he is, try and exploit the transfer market, try and ingrain good things. But that's the thing, Graham. Like, and I'm sure many balanced, real footballing men and women that understand this thing, whether you support Arsenal, Man United, or got F all to do with either team, you understand what we're doing, innit? But unfortunately, that's not what sells, really. And people like, what? I'm not being funny. What do you want Arsenal to do from corners? Am I going to sit here and criticize the set-piece coach, Mikel Arteta, or the players for wanting to score from corners? Or is that dickhead thing? And if you know Arsenal are good from set pieces, don't give them to us. And if you are going to give them to us, make sure we bloody don't score from them, innit? It's about finding a way. Reality is, kept a clean sheet, got 3 points, scored 2 goals, didn't have to do too much. Players got rotated in. We keep it moving. It's as simple as that. Like, I'm not on that, but fair enough. So yeah, big up the set piece coach. Big up what he's doing. Big up Smith Rowe for leaving. He said it was a very tough decision, but Arsenal got a good fee. Smith Rowe did his thing, doing his thing. It is what it is. On the depth in the 10 position, we allowed Fabio Vieira to go as well because we wanted to create room and the space for Ethan. He has given us every reason to trust him. He's shown that he's ready to make the next step. It's great for him. I don't think there's any bigger compliment that the young 17, 18-year-old Ethan can get. Ethan, Lewis Skelly, stay calm, stay hungry, keep working. You, man, got opportunities here. Yeah, big up Martin Odegaard. Like, I'm tired, in a good way, I'm tired of speaking about Martin. He's a bad boy. It's as simple as that. It's simple as that. Should we see what the Daily Mail's had to say about Arsenal Football Club? Is that Arsenal's appointment could up Isak interest. Hopefully there's something in that for us. Let's go all the way down. Big up Bruno Gomares, who's still linked with Manchester City. We'd love him. You know, Martin Zubamendi's been linked with Manchester City amongst the other couple of other clubs as well as us. And the same goes for Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton. All eyes on Arsenal's appointment. On the subject of admiration for Newcastle's top stars, the possible arrival of Roberto Olabe as Arsenal's new sporting director would strengthen their interest in Isak, probably owing to the Sociedad days. The Gunners have had a conversation with the Spaniard who would leave Sociedad at the end of the season about replacing Edu in the top role at the Emirates. It was at Sociedad that Olabe signed Isak from Dortmund for just 8 million in 2019 before selling him to Newcastle for 63 million years later. Once again, they signed him for 63 million. You're at least at the very minimum going to want a 20 million profit on that. So maybe I'm bugging out, but I just want to know, am I bugging out for thinking on the best of days, you can grab Isak for 80 million, probably 100, just over 100, or am I making things up, people? Let me know. Anyways, Confidential broke the story in October of Isak not being in contract talks with Newcastle. Amid reports he was in line for a new deal. Discussions ceased over the summer with the club's hierarchy taking the view they could not afford to give the striker a pay rise. They also pointed to him still having 4 years to run on his deal at that point. So when I hear contract talks are dead, I'm excited about that. But I'm also thinking, yo, my man's got 4 years. You need Isak to make it clear to Newcastle that I love you, what you lot are doing. I'm trying to leave. Arsenal need to be able to put the P's down. We all know on and off the field, Newcastle and Arsenal, there's a bit of beef going on. If you're not going to put down the 80, 90, 100 mil, the Isak thing, I'm happy to make videos and speak to you a lot about it. Probably unrealistic. My information, which is not mine, but this is the article. My information remains that Arsenal have the Swede near the top of their list of targets for next summer, and Olabe's arrival could no doubt help that cause. Now, of course, if Isak likes what Arsenal are doing as a club, what Mikel Arteta has to say, Moreno and Odegaard and them kind of man being at the club, and Olabe who brought him from Dortmund to Sociedad, if that thing helps, great. These are all helpful. But for me, I think it comes down to A, Arsenal need to be able to put down the big bucks, and B, Isak's going to have to burn bare bridges. And again, the main point, bro, he's got 4 years left on his deal. If it was 12 months, 18 months, I'd be like, all right, cool, there's something there. 4 years, you know. Anyways, people. But for now, as Eddie Howe said in response to our story, it's up to Isak to prove his worth in black and white shirt. With 5 goals in 7 games since, he's certainly doing that. I mean, the man loves scoring against Spurs. The 14 shirt is free. He scored in a big game against Liverpool. I'm on that, and I'm sure a lot of you are as well, people. Allegedly, Arsenal would have the clear transfer advantage over Man United when it comes to the race to sign Gyökeres, according to Petit. Big up Emmanuel Petit, but do you work for Sporting, United or Arsenal? Dead. I think it's neck and neck. I think Arsenal can sell you a great project, and I think Man United can. And also, bro, your former manager is at Man United, so I'm not going to waste you lot's time with that, people. But I think Gyökeres would be right up our street. We all know where Fulham are concerned. You know, the Iwobis, the Lenos, the you know, all them guys there, Smith Rowe, ex-Arsenal players, they could do something for us. Fulham away is a tougher game than I think it is on paper, but it is what it is, people, in that regard. Apparently, Jurien Timber believes Arsenal's reputation from set pieces can give them a psychological edge over opponents. I think so. I hope so. I hope so, because we are scoring a lot out of it. So I certainly hope so. Definitely. They, in brackets, Arsenal set pieces look really dangerous, and we really feel confident when we go into set pieces as well, which is a nice feeling. We showed again how dangerous we are from set pieces. I think that's the most important thing, building different ways of winning games, and I think we did that this time. I'm on that. I don't really give a flying monkeys what Arsenal fans, if you have a problem about set pieces and all that jazz, I will listen to it. If you don't support Arsenal, if you're not connected to Arsenal, pardon my language, shove that where the sun don't shine, man. DG, do you think appointing the Sociedad sporting director could help reignite the interest in Zubamendi for Arsenal? Yeah, a bit like what we saw with Isak, but how far does that go, man? For me, that helps us. But I genuinely feel Isak, Zubamendi is on listening to what Mikel Arteta had to say, can see how he matches up in midfield. Premier League, wages, living in London, all these things. But then when you look beyond that, I think Zubamendi gets cold feet. I think he strikes me as someone that he's on moving to us, but then he's like, oh, you know what? I want to stay in Spain. And I think Arsenal have felt that, have felt that, Liverpool have felt that, United have felt that, etc., etc. In relation to Isak, he'll have to put in a transfer request, and Newcastle board hates us with a passion. Yeah, I thought Newcastle wanted to compete, not by selling their best players they want. But they're treading closely to the FFP, the PSR, so they have to make a decision. And I personally feel they could be both, because for different reasons, Guimaraes might say, yo, you know what? I like what's going on at Newcastle, but a career is short. Man City want me. I'm on going over there. And by the same logic, whether it's Arsenal or another club, Isak as well, right? But I think where Newcastle are concerned, they could sell both, but I think they have to sacrifice either Guimaraes or Isak to balance the books, so that they can look after the whole squad, if that makes sense. Big up Inner Circle, man, my guy. Paying huge money for Isak is one of our problems, not a solution. We need to sign players. We need to sign those players before they move, not knuckle and buy them at inflated prices, unsustainable, especially players with terrible injury records. You're not wrong, but where Isak isolated is concerned, we're at. You're right. Could have, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Could have grabbed Isak before everyone wants him. Could have grabbed Kudus. Could have got Guimaraes, because I'm sure we was onto him when he was at Lyon. You're 100% right, but we're kind of at where we're at. So we need to learn from that 1,000,000% in the circle. You're right. But where these isolated names are concerned, bro, put the money down. I prefer Isak, but the injuries push me in favor of Gyökeres. Maybe they would be interested in Jesus. I hear you, and the injuries, like, because everyone knows me, I push the Isak propaganda. I love him. But when you lot sit there and say, "Rah, DG, what on for the injuries?" I'm a bit scared, and it makes me think, yo, you know what? Surely Gyökeres is easier. One, because he's got a release clause. Two, because I just feel it's a bit easier to grab him. I feel when Sporting bought him, I don't know if they knew he would be hitting the heights he's hitting now, innit? But I think when they got him, they said, yo, I can't believe Brighton have fumbled this one. We're going to get him. He's going to do his thing for us, and we'll sell him back to that market respectfully to Sporting. They know what time it is. You get these players, you develop them, you sell them wherever in Europe. But we all know the Premier League madness in it, really. And he's got a release clause. So for me, I think on paper it feels a lot easier. Who am I? I don't know anything. I'm like you lot. I just as a fan in it. Apparently, Liverpool and Arsenal learned Zubimendi transfer stance ahead of the January window. Liverpool and Arsenal have been the two best teams in the Premier League this season. Both clubs who are currently involved in the title race will enter the January transfer window to strengthen their squads and try to gain an advantage in the title race. Onslaught's side are in a much better position at the moment, sitting at the top of the league with a 7-point margin. The Gunners, however, seem to have found their form after a blip recently. The player both the clubs have been linked with for some time is Real Sociedad's midfielder Martin Zubimendi. As we know, Liverpool allegedly came close to signing him. Apparently, according to Graham Bailey of TBR Football, the player is planning to stay at the La Liga club in the January window, which I know he's got a release clause, but I think many football fans expecting him to do that anyways, people. So that's dead. Arsenal hold talks over 44 million man as Serie A side Mikel Arteta outcast. Arsenal have reportedly held talks with Wolves over the possibility of signing forward Matheus Cunha as interest grows in one of their fringe players. The Gunners are always on the lookout to bolster their attack, are we? With the likes of Victor Gyökeres, Victor Osimhen and Jonathan David linked with a move to the Emirates. A newer name to crop up is Wolves star Cunha, who has been excellent for Gary O'Neill's team over the past 18 months. According to Atletico Madrid, Arsenal are keeping tabs on the 5-year-old, who joined from Atletico Madrid for 44 million. So if he joined for 44 million, what's the price tag? As are Manchester United, Spurs, Newcastle United and Aston Villa. Allegedly, Sky Sports Italy journalist Luca Marchetti claims Napoli are actively working to sign Arsenal's Jakub Kiwior. However, the Gunners would want a permanent exit for the out of favor defender, and the Serie team are said to be favouring a January loan. Bro, any loan talk, Kiwior, I don't care. Summer thing you can move, and if you want to do loans with obligation to buy, do your thing. You're staying until the end of the season. Dead. And I don't know how true these rumors are, because Kiwior's an easy one to link with a move away from Arsenal. He was linked with Napoli, Sevilla, Villarreal, Inter, AC, Juventus, all them clubs there in the summer. Now, maybe they were legitimately interested and Arsenal said, forget that. Maybe Kiwior said, you know what, I'm going to try one last time to break in the Arsenal team. Maybe Mikel Arteta said, you can go, but the money needs to make sense. Maybe Mikel Arteta said, you know what, I know we've got Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Timber, Calafiori, this guy, that guy, Gabriel, but trust me, you're going to get an opportunity. For me, you need to stay. Like, I'm not going to cry if Kiwior, I love Tommy, but owing to injuries, Kiwior, Tomiyasu, Jorginho, Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus, different, but Martinelli, Jorginho, Thomas Partey, there's bare players that us Arsenal fans, for a variety of reasons, we could all sit here and think, yo, you could be moved on. January, does that make sense? I keep saying it, but you go back to February, Mikel Arteta said we've got one of the smallest squads. Now, I'm not criticizing the club or praising the club. When we left the summer window, did we improve our depth? Honest to God, did we improve our depth? How much sense does it make to let man go in January, where by God's grace, we're still in the League Cup, where we've got a semis or a quarters? We do what we need to do in the FA Cup. We're still fighting in the League Cup. We're still fighting in the Champs. Does it make sense to rip up the squad, which is already thin? You lot tell me. But apparently, this Donny has said, can Kiwior arrive on loan while Danilo can be bought on sale? We can, whoever that is, whatever Danilo that is, we can confirm that both negotiations are there, but they're not simple. Teams that have interesting players do not lend them to you at the start of the transfer market. And those who buy focus on the needs of those looking to sell, for those who are perhaps playing less at the moment. The club's work is to make Kiwior understand that he could have more space at Arsenal, but they're not giving it to him. The Gunners, for their part, have made it known they are willing to sell, but not lend. Yeah, chance, bro. If we're not selling you permanently, forget all of that. If I'm honest, apparently Arsenal face competition from Saudi Pro League champions Al Hilal for Spanish star Alberto Moreno. The attacking midfielder who can play as a winger and was a former target for Liverpool and City has been starring for Las Palmas and has alerted the Gunners and Al Hilal. Elsewhere, Arteta's side are facing growing competition from Chelsea for AC Milan midfielder Rangers, but the Serie A club want to time down to a new deal. Spurs and City are also keeping tabs on the Dutch international, who is said to be worth 50 million. Finally, Arsenal are reportedly weighing up whether or not to make a move for Everton forward Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's set to become a free agent next summer. Really? Kivior stays for me. Zinni goes. I'm not gonna lie. You know, if these players say I want to leave, then they got a cut in it. But even Zinchenko, you go in the summer, bro. You're staying for now. Apparently, Xavi Simons, currently on loan at RB Leipzig, has an uncertain future. Apparently, he's got 2 years left on his deal. Despite being re-signed by PSG 2 summers ago, he is yet to establish himself at the Liga Giants. The Athletic understands that PSG would like to keep Simons when his loan in Germany expires at the end of the season. However, PSG are at a crossroads, given that Simons' contract expires in 2 years. It is time to either integrate him and play him or sell him whilst his market value is high. PSG's stance on retaining the versatile forward will depend on Luis Enrique's evaluation come the end of the current campaign. Smash the like button. Should he be pushed towards the exit, there'll be no shortage of suitors. PSG want over 80 million euros, so that's about 70 odd for Simons, which may rule Leipzig out of the running. Even if the Bundesliga club are keen on retaining their loanee, the Athletic understands that Arsenal and Liverpool would also be interested in a deal. Both Premier League sides are in the race to sign the Dutchman this summer. I reckon he goes Liverpool. Gabriel Magalhaes is on Real Madrid's radars. They continue to search for players to improve their defense. At least it's not Saliba. Would you rather Gabriel Magalhaes go or Saliba? Because I think Gabriel Magalhaes, he's starting to get his respect, but he's one of the most disrespected players in the Arsenal team. I never said it, but maybe I'd rather him go than William Saliba. But anyways, keeping it moving. We all know our next 6 games. We've got Fulham away on Sunday, which I hope to do a watch-along, people. Spoiler alert, you might see me on a bigger platform. So if I'm not there, we will definitely do a reaction stream. Then we've got Monaco at home. Then we've got Everton at home. Then we've got Crystal Palace at home. And then Crystal Palace away. And then we have Ipswich at home. We've gone over Cunha, but he's wanted by Villa, United, Newcastle, Spurs, and Arsenal. Apparently, we've held initial talks, which I'm not too sure we should take stock. Manchester City are looking at signing at least one central midfielder in January, and they're still linked with Guimaraes, who I'd want at the carpet. City are also looking to beat Barcelona, Liverpool, and Madrid to the signing of KK of Napoli, which we should be getting involved. Gabriel Jesus has been linked with a move away in January. We'll sell him if all parties deem it makes sense. He's been linked with a permanent move to Saudi. He's been linked with loan moves. I don't know, people. Honestly, I don't know. Man United will reportedly pay whatever it takes to beat Barcelona to the signature of Gyökeres, which surely you just pay his release clause and it's down to him. Apparently, Osimhen's release clause is going to be lowered, people, going into the January market. We all know Arsenal are not going to go for him in January, but it's something to speak about. Rodri has said he would take Nico Williams to City without a doubt. To be fair, they need him because their wingers are crap, but it'd be nice for us to go and get him. Arsenal apparently are in advanced talks to sign Alberto Malero of Las Palmas. I'm not taking too much stock in that. We've gone over the Osimhen thing already. Arsenal in talks with Premier League star compared to Dennis Bergkamp. Who's that? It can't be Joshua Zertsky. Cunha's been compared to Dennis Bergkamp. You know what? You got your click from me. Madness, but dead. Absolutely dead. Absolutely dead. Apparently, Nico Williams is more open to a Premier League move. From the David Ornstein said, from the conversation I've had, it seems that he might be more open to a move to the Premier League now or in 2025 than he was before. So that poses the question, will these teams come again? Because as you say, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, forget Spurs, like, brother, it's between these 4. Chelsea got a good project. Liverpool got a good project. City got a good project. Arsenal, man said Spurs. They've all got admiration for him. If he signed for Spurs, I have to question mark his ambition. So I'd keep an eye on him. Improbable for Jan, more likely for the summer. But you never know. It would be a case that clubs try, but they're unsuccessful. We'll have to see where that goes. There's nothing there. If I'm, whatever. Martin Odegaard has become a dad, people. His wife has given birth, which is great stuff. And apparently, Victor Osimhen claim emerges as Arsenal eye blockbuster £58 million deal. According to a report from Saba, Arsenal are set to perform scouting missions on Osimhen. At this point, what more scouting is there to do for Victor Osimhen? You've scouted him heavily. The Gunners are said to be weighing a 58 million bid for the lethal 25-year-old who Osimhen has 123 goals in 235 career games. I don't believe that. Kerkamp, allow it, bro. Gabriel's story came out because he's in contract talks. John, facts. And you know what? Gabriel Magalhaes, Gabriel Martinelli, William Saliba, Bukayo Saka, I believe, forgive me if I'm wrong, don't quote me. Next summer, they've got 2 years left on their deal. So there's a lot to get done. And obviously, you throw Ethan in there. I'd be surprised if Ethan Nwaneri, when he turns 18, if not the day he turns 18, or the next 1 to 2 to 3 months, he ain't signed at least. I'm not going to lie. If I'm his agent and I'm Ethan's agent, bro, you're signing a 3-year deal. Just because in the next 18 months, a bit like what you see with Saka, there's a new deal to be discussed, provided you keep doing what you're doing. But if I'm Arsenal, bro, you're trying to get into a 5-year deal, at least a 4-year with an option of another one. 200k salary, doubt it. Nico staying at Bilbao, he's committed to them, which is true. But when you deep it, he's in his early to mid 20s, 200 grand a week, which would place him near the top earners. 58 million release clause, 200 grand a week. Yeah, it puts you near the top earners. But if you do the business and you look like the Nico Williams that was doing the thing at the Euros, is there anything to really cry about? Especially, it's easier said than done. But I don't know if Arsenal are going to give Partey a new deal, but Partey's on handsome wages. Jorginho's not the top earner, but he must be on something decent. Zinchenko is another one. If you flush them out, the resources look a bit wavier. Bro, Cunha being compared to Bergkamp, boy, the journalists are liars. Not going to lie, I like Gyökeres, but is that more useful to the system? I hear it. If KSC spend that 300 on new players, cool, don't pocket it. Saliba and Gabriel can go together for 300. No one leaves in Jan, need to get a couple in. I'd rather Ben White go and we keep both Saliba and Gabriel. I hear that, but for me, in an ideal world, big Gabriel, Saliba, Benjamin, no one defensively, unless your name's Kivio and Zinchenko. None of you cut. I would take Simmons yesterday. Who we going to use if Gabriel and Saliba are out? Brother, it's dark. Kivio has a lot of interest. Napoli, desperate for a centre-back, might be able to get a lot of money. I hear you, John, and I don't doubt that Kivio's got interest because he's not playing, because, you know, your stock is higher in Italy. But is there legitimate interest? And if there is legitimate interest, how far does it go, man? Like, because for all the links with predominantly at least 4, 5, 6 Italian clubs and at least 2, 3 Spanish, we ain't seen Kivio go anywhere. We haven't heard official bids. I'm not letting Kivio go in Jan. In the summer, if you want to F off in it. Like in a circle is saying, bro, no one can. For me, it's more about bringing Dons in. Unless Fabio Vieira, you go back to Porto on a permanent thing. Lokonga, you cut. Marquinhos, you cut. You get something that you can't reject for Kivio and you bring in another defensive body. I can't regress it. Because if I just say some names, I think we've got a lot of stability, but for different reasons. You could make a case of Gabriel Jesus leaving. Unpopular opinion for me, but Martinelli leaving, Tomiyasu leaving, Jorginho leaving, Partey leaving, Zinchenko leaving, Kivio leaving. There's at least 7 players, 8 players. Kivio had his best performance against United. Hope he can keep it up. I hear that. So many in the squad can go. Shouldn't be in Jan if we aren't signing anyone, though. I'm with you for that. Like, bro, there's a lot of football to play. I'm not with that. I'd even take Tony on loan in Jan for the rest of the season if we can't get anyone. I think Arsenal rate Ivan Toney as a footballer. And I don't know, but I think they rate him as a footballer. I think him as a person and all the other facets and background checks that the club do, I don't think they're keen on Toney. So I think that one is dead. Things can change, but I think it's dead. If I'm completely honest with you, man, I don't take too much stock. We have to win something. We'll get access to even better players once we start ticking off trophies. I would sell Gabriel. He has the Bozo gene when defending. I mean, a man can make mistakes, yeah, but I'm not being funny. When have you seen Gabriel? Obviously, when we've conceded goals, everyone can do better. But when last did you see a Gabriel Magalhaes Bozo gene? You ain't seen that in the last 2, 3 years. Yeah, when we signed him and he was a talented defender, but he was still learning. That 100%, them things there were there. But I just think that's one where your reputation, like when something is just said bare times, it sticks with you. Like Gabriel Magalhaes, for me, he's starting to get his flowers. He's got a chance. He don't get enough flowers at this football club. He's a top centre half. And I feel when we talk about top class, world class, best defender, all this stuff, rightly so, Saliba's amazing, isn't it? But we're very quick as Arsenal fans to gas up Saliba's thing. We don't really talk on Gabriel. When last did he have the Bozo gene? Like, really, I think that's something that just stuck with him. Gabriel Magalhaes has, for me, and again, man can make mistakes. Things can happen. But it's been a very long time since we've said, fucking hell, Gabriel Magalhaes, what are you doing? I think that's dead. Gabriel Magalhaes is so important to the system, whether it's obviously being a good defender, build-up play. Bro, it's dead, man. Yeah, because so many are going to leave. Need to sign 2, 3 in Jan. So let's do in the summer. In a circle, me and you both know it's a mad thing. We're going to get Nico Williams and Gyökeres. You can't sell papers with Magalhaes to Madrid if he's got the Bozo gene. That's what I'm saying. We need that AC Milan guy, Tijani guy for left 8. I hear that. Yo, Goose, what a name. We're not selling anyone that's a start. For me, it don't make sense. Obviously, money talks. If you get some mad offer, it is what it is. And for me, if you sign a Timber Tomiyasu kind of defender, versatile in Jan, then Zinni, more so Kivio. If you want to go back to Italy and play, do your thing in it. You got my blessing. But for me, and listen, I don't think Kivio's bad, but I'm not gonna I'm not never gonna lose sleep if Kivio leaves Arsenal Football Club. Half of the names I said, whether it's Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Jorginho, I keep forgetting names. All them names there, bro. You can't leave in Jan. There's too much to play for. January's a reactive window in that. Obviously, if you get offers you can't reject, fair play. People need to buy players because they didn't do what needed to be done in the summer. People want to leave. There might be injuries. There might be holes in your squad that you didn't address. It don't make sense. We have to. Oh, sorry, I've already seen that. My bad, bro. Would you get emotional if Saka left one day? Yes and no. I love Saka. I watched your development firsthand. Like, I used to go and watch Arsenal young G's, and it's hard not to love Saka. Like, I don't want to go too far with the Saka thing, innit? But for my 29 years, there's a lot more players in it, and I'm not saying he's better than them and all these things, but for me, I would have loved to have seen Rocastle. I wasn't blessed to see that, but I get the older fans would hold him in high regards, right? Homegrown bad boy. You've got Ian Wright, you've got Thierry Henry, you've got big Tony Adams, without a doubt. You've got Patrick Vieira. I don't know if I said Henry, you've got Henry. I'm not saying he's better than them, but for me, I think Saka is coming into that, like, in terms of what Arsenal mean, innit? But so I want you to be a one club man. I don't think that's going to happen. And even Saka, like, as much as I want you to be a one club man, I want Arsenal to win trophies with you. And then if you want to leave, innit? But if there's ever a time where you don't think Arsenal can match your ambition and you need to cut, it is what it is. You've got one career to live, innit? Go and do that. Because even if you stay at Arsenal and be a one club man, at some point, you're going to be 35. You might ask for a 2-3 year deal. Arsenal might only want to give you one. You'll get a testimonial. You'll get that last game at the Emirates where you'll get that. And then you might be one day retired and think about, right, I had the chance to go here. I could have done this. I don't believe in living in having regrets in it. So go and do that. So it is what it is. I would be upset, but I'm not being funny. In my 29 years, bro, I've seen Patrick Vieira leave, Dennis Bergkamp retire, Thierry Henry leave. So it's like, as much as I love Saka, bro, you can't hurt me. I'd be upset, of course. You can't hurt me. I've seen Henry leave, bro. That was the last time I cried about a player leaving. Henry left, bro. So it is what it is. Madness on those roads today in London, brother. Knackered geese, good to wind down, chatting Arsenal with the nation. Big up yourself and big up Inner Circle. My favorite black cab. I've only been in a black cab once. They don't stop for black man, but yeah, man, big you up. And it's nice to see, obviously, you got through that. If Saka left, it would never be to another English club. I don't know. I don't know if Saka will go Madrid and all these things. I wouldn't rule out Saka playing for another English club. You never know in this day and age. There might be a time where Saka's got to say, yo, you know what? Even in the best case scenario, forget what we're looking at right now, the current climate in that we're the nearly men. Let's just assume Saka's won Prem, champs, this, that, the third. He might think, rah, like, I want to try something else. Look at Trent at Liverpool. You've won Prem. You've won champs. I don't know if he's won FA Cup, but you've won significant trophies. Real Madrid is what it is. Saka can't leave. Would take the club ages to recover, bro. At this moment in time, Saka can't leave. King Alex Richardson, big up yourself, man. Appreciate your kind words for the comments. K, big up yourself. There's going to be some interesting loans. If we sell Kivio in the summer and get Hato, I wouldn't be against it. If Madrid are taking 100 million for Magalhaes, I'll do business. They ain't gonna do that though, man. I saw that Arsenal looking to offer a deal to Cunha. Boy, I'm not really on that. Big Gabriel effed up versus Bayern last year. Everyone did. Saliba, that's the only time I've seen Saliba look like. The biggest testament I could say to Saliba is, brother, you look like a veteran. You look like you're in your mid-20s, late 20s, 30s. The only time I've looked at Saliba in the last 2 years and thought, right, you look like a youth, man. You look like someone still wet between the ears. You look like a virgin, like that ain't pop your cherry. It was in the champs. Forget the Bayern Munich thing, and you're right. Like, Magalhaes, it is what it is. I would say Porto away. I think Saliba will stay for another 5 years. I certainly hope so, my brother. I certainly hope so, man. How Arteta never knew about Cole, brother. I don't know how we fumbled Cole Palmer, innit? Fair enough, it is what it is. I was when Chelsea bought him from City at that moment, I weren't saying, yo, how we missed out, but you was at City, you signed Gabriel Jesus, you signed Zinchenko, you could have grabbed that. And being devil's advocate, we've seen Cole Palmer score a worldie against us. I'm sure you scored in the. I might be making all this up. I'm sure Cole Palmer scored in the English Super Cup final. I would have loved Cole Palmer. I don't know what it would have looked like with you at Arsenal. Would you have played in the 10 and Odegaard's in the 8? Would you have been in the 8 and Odegaard in the 10? Would you have played left wing instead of Martinelli? Unpopular opinion, I reckon Declan Rice left 8 or left 6. Either Martin Odegaard or Cole Palmer in that little role, and we keep it moving. And you're right, man. I would have looked. Cole Palmer's sick. I would have loved him. Saliba will stay until he wins the league, but I have a funny feeling he might leave. And that, when some Arsenal fans do, oh, look at the way he celebrated against United. He loves Arsenal. They show the pictures of him as a kid. That's great. But at the end of the day, you got one career, you know. Keep it moving. Rio wants Saka at United. United fans shameless. They went from not rating our players to gagging and glazing Bukayo Saka. Boy, Saliba versus United on Saturday was a madness. Boy, I think you mean Wednesday. But yeah, man. Was it Wednesday? Yeah. We need Hatto, but we have to wait until the summer. I don't think we're going to get Hatto again, you know. Like, I definitely think Arsenal are interested. I'm on it if we do, but I don't know what Ajax are going to ask for. And then when you look at it, obviously everyone can play in different roles, right? But you've got Timber, Tomiyasu, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, you know, Gabriel in particular, Magalhaes. How much game time are you going to get ahead of Magalhaes? How much times are you going to play at left back? Because I think in the short to medium term, that's what Hatto's thing would have to be. Don't get it twisted. I'm sure if he speaks to Timber, the Ajax to Arsenal pathway, he's young. I'm on signing him. But I think with us signing unless there's some people that leave, like Zinni, Kivior, maybe even Tomiyasu, I think with us signing Calafiori, that's kind of deaded signing João Hatto. If I'm honest with you, I don't know, and I hope I'm wrong. Hatto is better than Calafiori. I'm telling you now. I'm for all of that. Fabregas leaving was awful. I weren't vexed with Cesc because for me, you always knew Cesc was going to go to Barca. If anything, I was peed off with. I'm sure when Cesc left, I might be making all of this up. Time moves quickly, innit? But I'm sure when he left, Spain won something and he was there and you saw Puyo and all them Spanish man putting the shirt on him and whatnot. Bring Hatto, bring him. How did you feel when Cesc joined Chelsea? I'm not one of the. Obviously, I don't want to see you at Chelsea, but I'm not one of them because at the end of the day, Wenger didn't bring you back. Chelsea's a good project and you won the league and you're too good of a player. Big up Steven Gerrard, but I think Cesc Fabregas is too big of a player to be part of the Steven Gerrard thing in that you're a world-class, top-class Premier League Hall of Famer that ain't won it. So I don't understand not bringing Cesc home. I'll never know the truth because on one hand, Arsenal were never onto him. On another hand, you hear Arsenal were onto him. He went to Chelsea. And then on another hand, you hear Wenger was sitting there and saying, we got Santi, we got Ozil, we got this guy, we don't need Cesc. For me, it's a big crime that Cesc Fabregas played for another English team that is not Arsenal. But you won at Chelsea, innit? It is what it is. But yeah, man. Like I said, from I see Thierry Henry leave, nothing can harm me in this football thing anymore, man. Like I've seen, like Thierry Henry. I'm 29. Thierry Henry's everything. I always tell the story. Like I'm only 29, but like them days, there was that you was only hearing about transfer news on. You actually had to watch Sky Sports. You actually had to watch Teletext. Or for me, where I found that with Cesc leaving, Thierry Henry leaving, was the Sun newspaper. Like my neighbor, God bless her soul, she R.I.P. She used to be she was a mad Arsenal fan. Like one of them, like the whole house is decorated with Arsenal stuff. Outside is Arsenal stuff. Bearing in mind, we live right next to the Spurs Stadium. I was walking home and she was like, oh, have you heard the news? I'm a little kid these times. I don't know how old I would have been. Like that's 06, 07. Probably 12, 13, if that. Like, she was like, have you heard the news about Thierry Henry? Like, what do you mean about Thierry Henry? What are you talking about? She took out, like, God bless her soul. She took out the newspaper, like, she had it like this, but to the back page in it. And you could see Henry, obviously, at the Camp Nou with the presentation. Oh, immediately. The crying with the bogies coming in your mouth and that, like, pause. Henry was everything to me, man. Everything. Henry was everything. Thierry Henry would never play for another English club, though. Thank the Lord. Kante was 90% done for Arsenal, but Wenger's ego against agents ruined it. I will never know, but, you know, one thing I'd say with Wenger, like, I love Wenger. He's a big reason as to why I'm so balanced in my opinions. I have a lot of the way I look at life and obviously, you know, football. But one thing that annoyed me about Wenger, beyond the obvious of we tried, like, I never, like, a few years ago, he's saying, oh, I knew about Kante since he was 13, 14. How does that help me, bro? As a selfish Arsenal fan, if you knew about him from 13, 14, why is he not at the club, lad? Why? That's one thing in recent years, bro. It's a big crime that Kante, Mahrez, Mbappe. I'm reaching a bit, but with Mbappe, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, these French dons were not at the club. Eden Hazard as well, like he should have been playing for us. My mate is an Ajax fan. He says Hato is better than Timber and he loves Timber. Bro, bring Hato. I'm here for Arsenal fans to have that. I'm of the belief it's the coaching staff like Mertesacker and Wilshere that convinced Arteta some of the youth were good enough to play. Naturally, obviously, the academy staff and the technical staff, they're obviously going to say, have you heard about bring him in? But naturally, Monday to Friday or whenever, assuming a match on a Saturday, Sunday, them man can gas him. Think about it logically. If you're Arteta and you've got Mertesacker or the under 18s or 21s coach, you're saying they're telling you this player is good. There might be a day, yeah, where like this is the best example where Tomiyasu, Ben White, numerous players are missing. Forget the match day. That means you've got less numbers for training, right? They're saying they got this player, that other. Let's just assume the 18s, 21s, and first teams were all training on the same day. I'm Mikel Arteta, right? We're lacking numbers. I go to Mertesacker or whatever. Yeah, hey, mate, we're missing numbers. I need some people so I can do whatever coaching drill. Send me your best players. Couple man come over. They're letting down the session for the technical level safe. I'll say, yeah, you know what? You've been talking about Ethan, you know. We're lacking numbers. Bring him over. I watch him with my own eyes. I see, raw, like he's cold. Next training session, you're coming over. Next one, you're coming over to the point where I'm like, yo, you know what? You can play for the under 21s, 18s, but you see when the first team are training, my man's with me. Obviously, my man's cold. Through every training session, he's showing more personality. I say, you know what? I know you lot are playing on Saturday, Sunday. Give a next man a chance. He's on the bench for me. And that's how it moves, bro. So it wouldn't surprise me. Petit was a baller. He actually said he made an L leaving Arsenal when he did, but that's your business, isn't it? Really and truly. Hazard revealed that he would have never joined the Arsenal Chelsea if they didn't win the Champions League. You see what winning big trophies can do. I feel the only player that left Arsenal and it really hurt was Van Persie, man. I don't like the boy till today. I must admit, and I might be one of those weird Arsenal fans, but considering the period we was at, I weren't vexed at Van Persie. Of course, I don't want to see you sign for United, but unpopular opinion, I think of all the exits, if anything, Nasri pisses me off the most. Van Persie literally said, yo, Arsenal rejected a move to Juventus for me. I want to win stuff. I want the club to win stuff. I'm trying to go here. Arsenal are going here. So Alex Ferguson and Man United are top dons. Arsenal are stupid enough to sell me to them. Bro, safe, innit? It is what it is. That's why even Nasri, even though I'm a hypocrite of what I just said, but I can't really sit here and be vexed at Nasri, at Van Persie, at Omri, of all them. Forget all them, man. Clichy, Cola, all them, man. Because at the end of the day, career short, go win stuff. We'll hell you up, but it's you that's going to be in that dark room thinking about, raw, I had the chance to win this. I could have won that. I should have stayed at Arsenal. I maybe should have left Arsenal sooner. A career short, man. We need to win a trophy. Winning begets winning. Not sure what that word means. I won't cap. Players want to move to projects that are proven to be able to win. Must win anything this season. Yeah, Petit said, his wife, but that's why you don't follow them. Van Persie was a scumbag for celebrating in front of fans. I hear it, but again, I'm not saying I agree, but Van Persie sat there and said, yo, I respected Arsenal's team. The fans booed me. I'm a prick as well. I would have done that. Big up Roms. Big up DG. I come in peace today. Pause. Smash the likes. Big up my guy Roms, man. He's a good lad. He just supports them, man, there. And he doesn't like black girl, but it's cool, man. It's cool, man. He's Snow Bunny. He's cool, man. It's cool. Hato is more than welcome to come to the carpet. But with that being said, though, man, big up you lot for your talking points. Big up myself for going over the talking points. I don't want to waste any more of your time, man. Tomorrow, we are watching the Merseyside derby between Everton and Liverpool. Then we're watching Crystal Palace, Manchester City. Then we're watching Nottingham Forest versus Man United. I would say we're going to watch Fulham versus Arsenal. At the very minimum, we will do a live reaction, but I might be on another platform, people. I'll keep you lot posted. But on that note, smash the like button, all of that sort of stuff. We've been talking a lot about fullback.
Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
You always